Welcome to Microchip's briefing. The content of the briefing includes: South Korea balances policy to draw foreign investment, official says. Micron, ASML and Samsung attend CIIE, but Nvidia absent amid chip war. How Russia's homegrown Lancet drone became so feared in Ukraine. Stock market news today: stocks extend win streak as investors cling to Fed rate excitement. A weakened China badly needs détente with the West. South Korea balances policy to draw foreign investment, official says. Nikkei Asia. South Korea's loosening of environmental regulations and its tough approach to labor activism are attracting more foreign direct investment, FDI, according to Jang Young-jin, the first vice minister at the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy. The country has seen a series of large-scale entries by global technology companies, and FDI reached $23.9 billion for the first 3 quarters of 2023. Jang said that the government had lowered chemical materials regulations to the level of the EU and had taken a tough approach to illegal strikes by labor unions. Micron, ASML and Samsung attend CIIE, but Nvidia absent amid chip war. South China Morning Post. US, South Korean, and Dutch chip companies are present at the China Import Expo. The move comes as Beijing tries to achieve chip self-sufficiency amid an escalating tech war with the US. Qualcomm, Micron Technology, ASML Holding, and Samsung Electronics are among the companies that have set up booths at the expo. Micron, whose products were banned in China after a national security review in May, has set up a booth for the first time. AMD and Qualcomm have been reducing their workforce in China this year due to an extended industrial downturn. How Russia's homegrown Lancet drone became so feared in Ukraine. Yahoo! The Zala Aero Group, a subsidiary of the Russian Kalashnikov concern, has developed the Lancet kamikaze drone. The drone is causing significant damage to Ukrainian equipment, including tanks, howitzers, air defense systems and radar launchers. The drones are also being used to target Ukrainian combat jets. In response, Ukraine is developing countermeasures, including more powerful electronic warfare systems and netting to protect artillery. However, the Lancet is evolving, and a new model, the Izdali 53, has been developed that can fly in swarms and engage targets autonomously. The drones in the swarm will communicate with each other autonomously through neural networks, enabling them to locate, prioritize, and engage multiple targets on their own, potentially overwhelming local air defenses. A weakened China badly needs détente with the West. Telegraph. China is seeking détente with the West as its economy faces serious challenges, according to an analysis by Ambrose Evans Pritchard in The Telegraph. The Chinese economy is said by some to be in a debt deflation trap, with its model of catch-up growth having reached its limits. Meanwhile, the U.S. economy is relatively healthy, with low unemployment and rising productivity. China has been hit by a series of defaults by property firms, with dollar debt and short-term lending rates have risen sharply, reflecting stress in the Chinese money markets. The country's Communist Party appears to have misunderstood the impact of the financial crisis of 2008, believing that it marked the decline of American capitalism and a vindication of China's own state-controlled approach to finance. The U.S., meanwhile, is imposing curbs on exports of advanced chips that are used for quantum computing, advanced weaponry and AI. There are reasons to be leery of House Speaker's porn monitoring software, experts say. Washington Post. The Covenant Eyes software, which monitors users' devices for porn and provides reports between accountability partners about whether they'd indulged, is shameware, according to one critic. The software has been used by House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican Louisiana, who has promoted it on Facebook. The software can be used coercively, raises potential privacy issues and may not achieve what it purports to achieve. The Wired story documented instances of churches using Covenant Eyes to monitor congregants. Covenant Eyes has previously been removed from Google Play for violating its malware policy. It was reinstated following an appeal by Covenant Eyes. The software has also been installed on the devices of parolees. Critics say that accountability software does not achieve the desired impact and can make users feel worse about themselves rather than better. GlobalFoundries projects profit above estimates in positive sign for chip market. Reuters. Contract chip maker GlobalFoundries has forecasted a fourth-quarter profit above analysts' estimates, indicating that the supply glut in the semiconductor industry is easing. This follows recent signals that the industry's slump may be bottoming out as customers rebuild inventory after clearing excess stock caused by a sudden post-pandemic demand drop. GlobalFoundries' forecast comes after both Intel and Advanced Micro Devices indicated a recovery in the personal computer market, a key source of revenue for semiconductor makers. GlobalFoundries expects adjusted profit per share to be in the range of 53 cents to 64 cents in the 3 months to December. Fund manager who won big on Nvidia sees more gains ahead. Bloomberg. Adam Gold, portfolio manager of the Deep Growth Plus Fund, has delivered returns of over 100% this year, beating all other separately managed accounts in North America. Gold owns Nvidia, which has seen its stock more than triple in 2023. Gold built up his position in the chip maker in anticipation of the demand for its technology. He also takes short positions against some consumer discretionary companies, including Macy's, which he believes will struggle, particularly those that sell brands they don't own. Germany approves stakes by Bosch, Infineon and NXP in TSMC chip plant. Reuters. The German cartel office has approved stakes by Bosch, Infineon, and NXP in TSMC's new semiconductor plant in Dresden, Germany. The companies will each acquire 10% of shares in the European Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, ESMC, founded by TSMC. The move comes as recent geopolitical upheavals have highlighted the importance of secured access to semiconductors, especially for the German industry. The plant is key to Berlin's ambition to promote the domestic chip industry and maintain competitiveness in the global car industry. European photonics chip companies call for $4.5 billion in EU funding. Reuters. Executives from Europe's largest photonic computer chip companies have asked the European Union, EU, for €4.25 billion, $4.54 billion, in funding to help the industry compete with rivals in the US and Asia. Photonic semiconductors use light rather than electrons to perform calculations, offering advantages in speed and power consumption. The executives presented EU officials with an 8-year plan to support European supply chains, guaranteeing smaller firms access to manufacturing sites. The EU has previously recognized photonics as a strategic technology and has named it as an area for potential funding under the €43 billion CHIPS Act. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the sixth dimension, here to bring you the latest news updates from around the world. Let's dive right in. First up, we have South Korea, which is attracting more foreign investment with its balanced approach to policy. By loosening environmental regulations and taking a tough stance on labor activism, the country has seen a significant increase in foreign direct investment. This is great news for South Korea's economy and shows that finding a middle ground can be beneficial. Next, we have the China Import Expo, where US, South Korean, and Dutch chip companies are present. This comes as Beijing tries to achieve chip self-sufficiency amid an escalating tech war with the US. It's interesting to see these companies setting up booths at the expo, especially considering the recent tensions in the industry. It's a sign that everyone wants a piece of the pie. Moving on to a more concerning development, the Russian Lancet kamikaze drone is causing havoc in Ukraine. These drones are targeting Ukrainian equipment, including tanks and combat jets. Ukraine is working on developing countermeasures, but it seems like Russia is one step ahead with the development of a new model that can fly in swarms and engage targets autonomously. This is a clear example of how technology can be used for both good and bad purposes. In the world of finance, U.S. stocks continue to rise as investors become more confident in the Federal Reserve's decision to end its tightening campaign in 2018. This is good news for the market, but we shouldn't forget that the door is still open to additional increases. It's a delicate balancing act for the Fed, and we'll have to keep an eye on how things unfold. Shifting our focus to China, it seems that the country is seeking détente with the West as its economy faces challenges. China's model of catch-up growth seems to have reached its limits, while the U.S. economy is relatively healthy. China's Communist Party may have misunderstood the impact of the 2008 financial crisis, and now they are looking for ways to navigate the current situation. It's a reminder that even the most powerful nations can face difficulties. Now, let's talk about something a bit more controversial. The Covenant Eyes software, which monitors users' devices for porn, has sparked debate. Critics argue that it raises privacy issues and may not achieve what it claims to achieve. It's an interesting example of how technology can be used for surveillance and control, and it's important to have a discussion about its implications. In the semiconductor industry, we have some positive news. Contract chip maker GlobalFoundries is forecasting a fourth-quarter profit above analysts' estimates, indicating that the supply glut in the industry is easing. This is a good sign for the market, and it shows that things might be starting to stabilize after a challenging period. Lastly, we have a fund manager who has seen great success with Nvidia and believes there are more gains ahead. This is a testament to the power of investing in innovative technology companies. It's important to keep an eye on the trends and seize opportunities when they arise. That's all for today's news updates. Now, I turn it over to you, my dear audience. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions or insights to share? I'm here to listen and discuss. So, let's dive into the discussion and see where it takes us. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.